walking around Christmas tree at Christmas party. What's up, weekend warriors? Welcome to the week 16 edition of the pod. It's playoffs, baby. And this is my last day in the office before the holidays. Pretty excited. We did some happy hour stuff today. I'm rocking the Michael Scott. That's what she said sweater. And one of the last things I got to do before I get out of here for the holidays. And just a wild ride this season. I can't believe that Christmas is literally in 4 days. It's crazy. It's been a wild fantasy season. It's been a wild just ride here in December, just with a lot of stuff going on. But we made it, man. It's the fantasy football playoffs. So we're going to do a little resume building of the teams, kind of how they got here, where they've been in the past, and I'll give you my predictions. Quick summary of the standings, obviously. Brett was the only one, and I mentioned in my last pod that kind of had a chance to sneak in. Didn't happen. Valiant effort for Brett. Last place locked up by Kevin. He will be Venmoing the winner accordingly for dinner and drinks to celebrate, and his team will be named. Naming a team, doesn't sound that bad, but the team who got their team name this year ended up having to quit the league, so maybe it is a little bit more harsh than people think. So we'll see what happens, but in any event, the playoff contenders are Terry, myself, Jake, and Dean. 3 Hardings. And there's been a lot of chatter about that. Otley sending a text message out, I smell conspiracy. I mean, listen, some of you guys going soft. You're letting us get in the playoffs, and, at least one Harding is going to be in the finals. I can guarantee that. But Terry, always a formidable opponent, is going to do his best to, make sure that one of them doesn't win. So we're going to get to that in a second. Let's, off the top, give you a recap of last week. Again, the commissioner has gone 5-0, and I'm going to stop making it seem like a crazy feat because I'm 60-15 in predicting matchups on this show. When you have a good season like I do, and in this regard, but also when my team has a good year, and I always pick myself, that helps my record too. But 5-0 this past week, 5-0 the week before, 5-0 the week before that, 4-1 in the previous 2 weeks before that. So what's that? 23-2 in my last 25 picks on the pod. So these 2 picks I'm about to give are pretty important. For my NFL picks, I had Jacksonville plus 3.5, which did not win, unfortunately, but I had Vegas -3 on Thursday night. Thursday Night King gets back in the column. They won 124-17 over the Chargers. All right, resume time. Actually, first, before I do that, one other thing that I need to clean up. 15 total weekly high-scoring payouts on the season. They'll be paid out at the end of the year when I pay out the winner and runner-up. So 15, Tyler won 4 times, Terry won 3 times, Brett won 3 times, Dean won twice, Jake won twice, and Otley won once. So you all can do the math in your head of how much you're going to get. But that's the weekly high scores. Congratulations to those who are taking home surprise money there. All right. In order of worst to best as far as standings, we'll start with my dad. Last playoff appearance, 2020, was a first-round exit. He has not made the final since 2015, in which he was runner-up against Kevin. So it's a little background for him. He has not had a lot to celebrate in this league. He is still in search of his first championship. He is one of 2 original owners that are still in search of their first championship. One is Chris T, who came very close last year. And I'm happy to announce that Chris T himself has said he is rooting for Dean, a new champion, to win this year. Funny, he's not rooting for Jake, who would also be a new champion, who, a nice segue into his name here. Last playoff appearance was last year. He made a first-round exit. He has made the playoffs 4 out of the last 5 seasons. He has made 1 finals appearance in which he has lost, and the other 3 were first-round exits. So he's trying to get off the snide here. He's a perennial contender, as you can tell by those numbers. He's usually in the playoffs, has not gotten over the hump. So we'll see what he does here this season. Myself, I got the monkey off my back, not last year, but the year before that. It was my last playoff appearance and my only finals win. It was coincidentally over Terry. We could potentially see a rematch of that matchup this season. Terry is always around. He has made the playoffs 4 consecutive seasons. The last time he didn't make it was 2020. So I'm sorry, it's 3 consecutive seasons. The last time he didn't make it was 2020. First round exit last year. Came in second to me, and he is a 2-time champion, potentially going on his 3rd, which would be this year, which would then tie Otley. I have to throw this in there, Otley for the most championships in league history, which is 3. So Terry, just a repeat customer in the building, in the finals, repeat customer in the building, in the playoffs, and a repeat customer at the top of the standings. So I think I said last playoff appearance was last year with a first round exit. So matchups. Let's start with Dean and Terry. A rivalry in this league, battle of the brother-in-laws. We always talk about it. 11-4. Terry just led by a historic season by Christian McCaffrey. My dad, I think, is kicking himself for taking Austin Ekeler over Christian McCaffrey. I told him that you've made many good plays, with the drafting of CeeDee Lamb, picking up some of the quarterbacks he's had, some of the other running backs he's drafted. You can't just focus on the bad. But there was a gift for Terry, him, Amon-Ra, Josh Allen, Rashee Rice, and Njoku as of late. Terry has the best team, in my opinion, and I think that next week, looking at the schedule, he's primed. If he can get past this week, I think next week his team's going to have another explosion. He scored 200 points last week and was the high score of the week. Maybe this is the week to play him. You got McCaffrey against the Ravens. You got the Bill, Josh Allen and the Bills in a Chargers matchup where they should handle business. They don't have to do too much. It's not going to be a shootout. Maybe this is the week that you want to play Terry. Still, he's projected 138 points. So where does Dean get him? It starts with a very good Matthew Stafford game tonight. My official pick is the Rams minus 3.5. I think the Saints are overrated. They beat the Giants last week pretty handedly, but the Giants stink. I think the Rams, both teams fighting for their playoff lives. I think the Rams get it done. But Dean's going to need some touchdown luck, whether it's Travis Etienne, whether it's Michael Pittman back from concussion, whether it's Lamb with a big game against Miami. He's going to need 1 or 2 guys to go off. He's going to need production from Ekeler. He's going to need production from Swift. He has the team to do it. He has a lot of good, strong pieces. It's going to start with Stafford tonight with 2 or 3, probably 3 touchdowns. And Dean's projected 119, which is a far cry from what Terry has projected, but I think he can get it done. I remember when I was in the finals against Terry, when I won my only championship, I was a heavy underdog. No matter how good your season is in fantasy football, one playoff, tough opponent matchup, a guy goes off for 40 points, something crazy can knock you out. That's the beauty and the ugliness of the fantasy playoffs. I'm taking Terry on paper. I think he should win this matchup. I would like to see Dean maybe create some parity in this league. Maybe an underdog story here in search of his first championship. Rooting for my old man. But if I'm calling it the way I see it, I would say conventional wisdom says Terry wins and would advance to his second finals in 3 years. On the other side, in a matchup that I think honestly is a little bit closer, myself versus Jake. Jake's favored to win. A Jake team that I think has guys that could lay eggs and then guys that could go off. Tyreek Hill, a ticking time bomb of 45 points any week. Lamar Jackson, another guy who's had 8, or then he has 100 yards rushing and he has, 30, 40 points. Evans, great season. Adams, has been very solid. Can Jake get production out of his running backs? Mostert leads the league in rushing touchdowns. Connor, back and playing better. Aaron Jones has not been good, but can he, step up this week? For myself, I had an embarrassing matchup last week where none of my guys did anything. I scored like 75 points. I almost put myself out of the 2 or 3 seed and jumped and would have had to play Terry this week. I hung on, beat Valone, thanks to Gino not playing, but it wouldn't matter. I still outscored my dad. It wouldn't matter. It was inconsequential, but I think that if anything, this bodes well for a bounce back potentially for me this week. I need Dak to do well. I have Kamara tonight. My receivers are so good, I have to bench Puka. I like Puka tonight. I'm playing him in another league. I'm benching him. But I think A.J. Brown, Metcalf, DJ Moore against Arizona. My tight end and likely has been good. I'm riding Chuba Hubbard, who is just getting a ton of carries. I think Kamara starts it off for me tonight. And I think the one guy who has been he had a great season. He's been bad the last couple of weeks. And this is my pick. I'm giving this out as my pick. I can do whatever I want. It's my show. -3.5 is my Thursday night pick. My other pick is Diggs anytime touchdown. The Bills have been winning games ugly. Allen had 6 completions going in the fourth quarter against the Cowboys. They're running the ball a lot. This is a game they can do whatever they want against the Chargers. I think they're going to intentionally try to get Diggs a touchdown. He's a crybaby diva, and this is their chance to get him the ball and make him happy. So I'm taking Diggs anytime touchdown as my other pick. Biased, maybe. I will be putting money on that and hoping it happens Saturday night. So I'm picking myself. It's not a surprise, but me and my brother, it's going to be a very, very, very close matchup. And the Hardings are going to be together a lot during these games and during these, Christmas season here. So it's going to be fun watching it with these guys. It's really like one of the biggest things I love about football. Everybody knows growing up, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 years old, now 34 years old, watching Sunday all day with the guys. And my dad and my brother have been a big part of that. So looking forward to doing that with those guys. And win or lose, it's going to be fun. So it's been awesome doing this podcast. I said we're going to be spending some time together. Maybe you'll see some content, special guest worthy of some things over the next couple of days. I wish you guys a very Merry Christmas. And I won't wish you Happy New Year because I'll be on a pod next week with the finals predictions. Commish out. Love you, boys.